All right, welcome everybody to PopSpots.com. Doing another review here. This time around, we're looking at one of these Apple Watch knockoffs. Name is Newwear Q3 1.3 inch big screen dynamic blood oxygen pressure multi-language long standby smartwatch in gray. 38 bucks Canadian, not bad. It's typical, overseas knockoff of an Apple Watch. It's actually not bad for what it is for the price. But essentially, what it is a touchscreen watch with a number of different features, a whole whack load of different things. It's got step counting, it's got sleep tracking, heart rate, blood pressure. No idea what this is. Weightlifting, I have no idea. Haven't figured that out yet. A couple of the settings related applications, weather information. Obviously, it's tied to the phone. So basically, when you use the watch, they say touchscreen. Not quite what you think touchscreen, not like an Apple Watch or any of your phones. It's more of I would say it's a camera sensor, not a capacitive sensor, because it's not the entire screen. When I touch the screen anywhere else, it does nothing. You have to touch the area at the bottom of the screen. It also doesn't have, swiping per se. It's really just about when you're touching the bottom area of the screen. It's also hypersensitive. I'm not even touching the screen right now. And I think it's more of my, and that's why I think there's a camera in there, because it's actually sensing my finger coming close to the screen. And if you want to enable a function, like right now it's trying to check my heart rate, you can see it flashing the green light there. It's really, you're pushing and holding that section, and then see if I can get it to go here. All right, didn't get it to go. Anyway, push and hold actually enables that function. So it's a bit finicky in the sense that you can't just, go from the main screen to, let's say, heart rate, for example. You've got to go through all the screens to get where you want to go. So, I guess a small inconvenience. I'll show you the app on the phone in a few seconds because it's linked via Bluetooth. But I will say that I'm actually for, 38 bucks. I don't know if you can tell very well by the phone here, but that's really good quality screen actually, considering the price. So this sucker, I'm not going to do, full unboxing, but it came with this, try to be fancy box, even though the box, a white box, looks more like it was in some mechanic's workbench for a couple of days because it's all like full of dirt and crap. But it comes with Chinese and English instructions. No, that's Chinese. Here's the English stuff. I suspect that if you found a website link, you'd actually get to see all the stuff, but it actually attempts to show you all the different screens that you can scroll through there. I haven't begun to figure out half of them, or even, like I said before, what some of them even do. So anyway, they say it's a 1.3 inch IPS screen, and I kind of believe it. And the battery's actually not been too bad. I've been using it for a couple days off and on, and the batteries remained held to charge, I think mostly because the watch is pretty much off until you turn it on. There's also a setting in the app where it's supposed to wake up when if you're wearing it on your arm, and you sort of shift or turn to wake up like you do on an Apple Watch or whatever. I've actually got that setting enabled, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Oddly enough, it's actually scrolling right now, so I have no idea why. But rotating it is scrolling. But I have many times where I've actually had it and I'm sitting there trying to wake it up and it does nothing. So it seems to be temperamental on what wakes it up from sleep mode, or the black screen, because oftentimes it's off. You just want to turn it and see the time on your watch. I was actually originally going to use this just to throw on my bike when I go mountain biking. I want something to quickly just look down at that shows me, big, fat, bold letters. I want to see the time very quickly. I don't want to have to guess, right? And I like this because it's sort of in your face, bold digits for the time. So that's the watch, and I'll quickly show you the application on this sucker. It's called HeyBand. They give you a QR code in the booklet you can scan. At first, I was a bit skeptical. This is one of my son's older phones that we don't use much, but you scan the code, it takes you not to the Apple Store, but it actually takes you to their website. But then when you open up the link, it actually opens up in the store. So anyway, so just to give you an idea, shows you some stats. There's binding stuff on reminder settings, personality settings, do not disturb. Things like blood pressure settings, and then you got these universal settings. Automatic display, for example, is the one that's supposed to automatically wake it up when it's on your wrist and whatnot. So there's a fair bit of stuff you can do in here, which is kind of cool for, again, the price of the watch. I just wish there was the ability to sort of order change the order in which the different functions come up. And honestly, there's a lot of these things I could care less to even show. Maybe for me, for what I care for is like the time, the heart rate, maybe if I use it, and maybe blood pressure, and then only weather, right? That's all I care for. I don't use anything else in these things. Somebody else may want more, but I don't see anything in here to sort of set order of functions. But other than that, I have to say that, considering I've had other watches like the Samsung watch, which I can't stand because the battery life sucks on those things, that, for the price of this thing, which is like 10% of what you pay for any other watch, they've actually done a pretty good job of the app development features and even connectivity. Like, it would take my Galaxy watch like 2 minutes to connect and sync up and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And this thing is just immediate, in terms of connection to the device and getting any information or syncing up information. So kudos to these guys for getting that right. I was pretty impressed about that. But again, I don't have any information to sync right now, but it would sync down, step counting information and, all that stuff. I think, you just kind of pull down to refresh it. It'll go through sync and it's done. It was a few seconds, right? Again, I don't have data to actually sync up. That might be one reason why, but it's definitely not taking a minute to do that. So anyway, other than that, the watch, the band, I wore it, for a day and I didn't notice it. And that's a good thing because it means the watch is a comfortable fit. It's not very thick. I think it was only about, let's get a measurement here. It wasn't, the main part of the watch is only about 10.5 millimeters. And if you take it to the sensor, 12 millimeters. So it's fairly thin, the watch. You don't feel it really on your wrist. It's not a wide watch. It's really, honestly, it looks just like an Apple Watch. The silicone band is really nice and comfortable. It's really flexible. It doesn't look cheap. It doesn't look like that kind of stuff that, you buy and you question what chemicals they used to make it because it starts to crack and fall apart within a month or two. It looks like same quality as what you'd buy for any other watch here. And typical clasp mechanism, decent quality. So anyway, again, that's the Newwear Q3 watch. That's from Banggood. Cheers for them to sending it to me. They did, full transparency. They sent it to me for free to look at and try out. But I'll tell you the good and bad about everything. For $38, if you're just looking for something simple and basic, it's not bad, right? And you can get used to some of the nuances about how the functions work. That's fine. I'll also show you the charging. Another pet peeve I have is a charging unit. It's just this USB cable with magnetized, positive, negative pin connection. For lack of better words, it sucks. It works, but it sucks. The idea is that, you just let it do its thing and, it'll find its way. And it generally does, but it easily knocks off, right? It doesn't take much for it to come off and you don't know it. You get notice that if I were to plug this in, you'll get notice to show that, it's in a charging state. But if you walk away and you actually tap the watch, it's suddenly not connected and you don't know your phone's not charging. So I know these things are hard to do and hard to get right. I think the good thing about it is that when it connects, it actually is, it uses pogo pins. And they're very sensitive, very soft springs in them. So they actually do a good job of mating to the charge port. So I'll give them credit on that I think, when it is connected and maybe, you leave it connected to like that, you're going to get it's going to work well from that perspective. Quality of cable. I'm very picky on this kind of stuff because I do a lot of electronics work. It looks to me like pretty decent quality USB cable. It's not that cheap, hard plastic that isn't, got a lot of silicone in it. This is, a very flexible material, which tells me that it won't break or crack as easily, which is nice. So again, I think there's some decent quality there as well. So anyway, that's all I have to say about this watch. Newwear again, 1.3 inch unit, and thank you very much for listening. Ciao.